The gentleman from Texas, Mr. Paul, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as an MD, as an MD, I know that when I advise on medical legislation, that I may be tempted to allow my emotional experience as a physician to influence my views, but nevertheless, I'm acting the role of legislator and politician. The MD degree grants no wisdom as to the correct solution to our managed care mess. The most efficient manner to deliver medical service, as it is with all goods and services, is determined by the degree the market is allowed to operate. Economic principles determine efficiencies of markets, even the medical care market, not our emotional experiences dealing with managed care. Contrary to the claims of many advocates of increased government regulation of health care, the problems with the health care system do not represent market failure. Rather, they represent the failure of government policies which have destroyed the health care market. In today's system, it appears on the surface that the interest of the patient is in conflict with the rights of the insurance companies and the medical maintenance organization. In a free market, this cannot happen. Everyone's rights are equal, and agreements on delivering services of any kind are entered into voluntarily, thus satisfying both sides. Only true competition assures that the consumer gets the best deal at the best price possible by putting pressure on the providers. Once one side is giving a legislative advantage in an artificial system, as it is in managed care, trying to balance government-dictated advantages between patient and HMOs is impossible. The differences cannot be reconciled by more government mandates, which will only make the problem worse. Because we are trying to patch up an unworkable system, the impasse in Congress should not be a surprise. No one can take a backseat to me regarding the disdain I hold for the HMO's role in managed care. This entire unnecessary level of corporatism that rakes off profits and undermines care is a creature of government interference in health care. These non-market institutions and government could have only gained control over medical care through a collusion among organized medicine, politicians, and the HMO profiteers in an effort to provide universal health care. No one suggests that we should have universal food, housing, TV, computer, and automobile programs, and yet many of the poor do much better getting these services through the marketplace as prices are driven down through competition. We all should become suspicious when it is declared we need a new Bill of Rights, such as a taxpayer's Bill of Rights or now a patient's Bill of Rights. Why don't more members ask why the original Bill of Rights is not adequate in protecting all rights and enabling the market to provide all services? If over the last 50 years we had had a lot more respect for property rights, voluntary contracts, state jurisdiction, and respect for free markets, we would not have the mess we're facing today in providing medical care. The power of special interests influencing government policy has brought us to this managed care monster. If we pursue the course of more government management in an effort to balance things, we're destined to make the system much worse. If government mismanagement in an area that the government should not be managing at all is the problem, another level of bureaucracy, no matter how well intended, cannot be helpful. The law of unintended consequences will prevail, and the principle of government control over providing a service will be further entrenched in the people in the nation's psyche. The choice in actuality is government-provided medical care and its inevitable mismanagement, or medical care provided by a market economy. Partial government involvement is not possible. It inevitably leads to total government control. Plans for all the so-called Patient's Bill of Rights are 100% endorsement of a principle of government management and will greatly expand government involvement, even if the intention is to limit government management of the health care system to the extent necessary to curtail the abuses of the HMO. The Patient's Bill of Rights concept is based on the same principles that have given us the mess we have today. Doctors are unhappy, HMOs are being attacked for the wrong reasons, and the patients have become a political football over which all sides demagogue. The problem started early on when the medical profession, combined with the tax code provisions, making it more advantageous for individuals to obtain first-dollar health care coverage from third parties rather than pay for health care services out of their own pockets, influenced the insurance industry into paying for medical services instead of sticking with the insurance principle of paying for major illnesses and accidents for which actuarial estimates could be made.
The gentleman's time has expired.